African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing on the progress of the special military operation as of July 21, 2025. Tonight, the Russian armed forces launched a coordinated strike using long-range precision weapons from air, land, and sea platforms, including Kinzhal aeroballistic hypersonic missiles and strike drones, targeting Ukrainian military-industrial enterprises and military airfield infrastructure. They destroyed 3 U.S.-made Patriot surface-to-air missile launchers and a multifunctional and MPQ-65 radar station. The strike objective was achieved, and all designated targets were hit. Units of the North Force grouping improved their tactical position. The manpower and equipment of the mechanized, airborne assault brigades, airborne assault, and assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Pavlovka, Varakino, Sadki, and Kondratovka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, units of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Territorial Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk and Melov in the Kharkiv region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost up to 190 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 9 cars, and 4 artillery pieces. Units of the West Group of Forces improved the position along the forward edge. Formations of 2 mechanized assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a Territorial Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Torskoy in the Donetsk People's Republic and Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region. The enemy's losses amounted to more than 230 servicemen, 14 vehicles, and a field artillery gun. 4 electronic warfare stations and 6 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions, inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized, mountain assault, airmobile brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Konstantinovka, Ivanopoli, Dranovka, Zakatnoy, and Seversk of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 140 servicemen, 3 combat armored vehicles, including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 5 vehicles, 2 artillery pieces. An ammunition depot and 3 warehouses of material resources were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved their tactical position. The formations of 2 mechanized, 2 assault, airborne brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a National Guard brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Artemovka, Oktyabrskoy, Krasnoarmysk, Yudaknoy, Novoekonomicheskoy, and Poltavka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The losses of the Ukrainian armed formations amounted to 425 servicemen, a tank, 3 combat armored vehicles, 12 pickups, as well as 3 artillery pieces. Units of the East Troop Group continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. Defeated personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 Territorial Defense Brigades in the areas of the settlements Iskra, Zelenigai of the Donetsk People's Republic, Novogeorgievka of the Dnipropetrovsk region, and Novosolovka of the Zaporizhia region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost up to 215 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 8 cars, 2 field artillery guns, and 2 ammunition depots. Units of the Dnieper Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of a mechanized brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 Territorial Defense Brigades in the areas of the settlements Antonovka, Belozerka of the Kherson region, and Malayatok Machka of the Zaporizhia region. Up to 60 servicemen destroyed, 7 vehicles, 3 artillery guns, 6 electronic warfare stations, and 2 ammunition depots. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces troop groups inflicted damage on ammunition depots, a drone assembly workshop, the Territorial Recruitment Center of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian formations, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries in 142 areas. Air defense means shot down a rocket projectile of the US-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, as well as 397 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the start of the special military operation, destroyed 664 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 71,463 unmanned aerial vehicles, 622 surface-to-air missile systems, 24,287 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,577 multiple launch rocket system vehicles, 27,667 field artillery guns and mortars, 38,522 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.